I mean, for you, well, if you could give people like action steps, someone that is like just starting out, watching this, they have a dream, maybe they're working a job, they're seeing, you know, a little bit of income, but they want to do something great in their life, like where should they begin?
Dude, that's so good. So it was really interesting. Like we had conversations about you and Remy launching a travel business. Brilliant. Like the membership pricing, the membership model, all the big discounts that people can get on their travel. Incredible. But then what happened? Like right when you launched. COVID, right?
COVID-19,
Dude, and travel shut completely down,
Yeah,
man.
we couldn't even leave our homes for 3 months.
Oh my gosh, man. But that's, you know, there's restrictions starting to lighten in a lot of places. So is the travel starting to pop off again and really get active?
I think so. And I think that, you know, the pitch itself, like the advertisements that we have, we can build, and that goes with anything right now. I think that this is the best time to get into marketing. This is the best time to get into business. This is the best time. Because when you look back 5 years from now, you're going to wish you said, man, I wish I would have started then. Right?
Yes.
This is like that time, that era. No matter what happens with the economy in the next 6 to 9 months or 18 months or a year or two, like this is still the best time. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best day is today. It's like right now and stuff. So, you know, the advertisements that we have, the sizzle that you can bring possibly in your advertisements and take that to market, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. We think that we have a good enough ad, like we have over 125 different ads from all these different countries, different cities, different states, different excursions.
Wow.
And the funnel that we have and the price point that we have will allow us to automate this thing because we're going to hire salespeople, train them on how to sell this. And then the price point is $3,495. And that gets you access to a lifetime membership where you can save up to 87% on your vacations, hotels, resorts, excursions.
Wow.
And so the idea is to spend, you know, eventually $20,000 to $60,000 a month. We just signed an agreement with an agency to be able to start at $15,000 a month. Month two, $20,000, and then try to scale up from there. And so, you know, we have ambitions and hopes to scale much further. And then the last thing that I'll say is, you know, at this current moment with our position, and this is like really scary for us because, you know, we're making close to, you know, multiple six figures, but we have to take that leap of faith for the unknown to might make multiple millions if we do it right. And so that unknown, that leap, that fear, that jump that you have to do in life and business, you have to do that at some point. Like if you're gonna see your dreams, turn into reality, like there's gotta be some point where you gotta jump and hope that parachute, you know, opens up.
Dude, okay, so there's so many different angles I want to go on this. Number one, I want to ask everybody in the audience right now, how many of you are ready to travel? Like you've been cooped up, you've been contained. I know me personally, I want to go somewhere, right? So let me know in the comments, how many of you want to travel? But number two, on that point, and I'm curious about your thoughts on this, how do you feel like in this moment? Like, you know, you're making good money. Like you're crushing it, you're making the CEO happy, and she's like, dude, y'all are the right team, you're doing the right things are moving, things are popping, let's go to the next level. I know you're the guy that can do it, but you've got this dream in the back of your mind, and you're going, I've got to give up this good thing to go for this potentially great thing.
Yes.
So what's going on inside of you, like the fear, the uncertainty?
All that? I think that we all live in this home, this emotional home that we grew up in through our parents, through society, through how we were raised in school.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, that emotional home is insecurity. It's fear, it's doubt, it's lack of belief for yourself, it's the wondering, which is an insecurity of if it's going to be successful or not.
Okay.
And so I had that emotional fear, and through the way that I was raised, I got to tell you that a lot of my fear is insecurity, a lot of my fear is doubt, a lot of my fear, a lot of my emotional home is and was negative. But then as you get so obsessed with your dream, your ambitions, your goals, you try to shift that emotional home to confidence, through certainty, through I can do this, through possibility, through imagination and stuff. And so for me today, it's now like there can be nothing, and you have to tell yourself that every day, that can stop me from making this dream a reality. And you know that problems are gonna come, situations, obstacles, things are gonna hit, life is gonna hit you in the mouth and knock you out. But you've gotta be that woman, you've gotta be that man inside of you that says that no matter what happens, I'm gonna get up, take a grip of my life, and go achieve something fantastic. Because honestly, there's a voice inside of you that says you can, and there's also that voice inside of you that says you can't.
Absolutely.
Right? And you have to listen to that voice more often that says that you can do it.
Yes.
Because over time, like I said, you'll notice that, you know, results start happening faster when you lean into that voice.
Dude, and I've always believed, like, and I've always thought that you've got to almost train and serve that voice that says I can. Like, you've got to actively go towards it. And I've always said, because I used to have this mindset where the dominating thought that I have was super negative, super self-doubt. You can't do this. Who are you? Nobody in your family's attained anything like what you're trying to go for. Like that was my my operating system. It was bad. And then eventually it just became so heavy that I was like, I got to choke this son of a gun out. Like I said some really bad, right? I'm like, you shut the heck up, right? But I also think, so like that's one side of it, but the other side of it is practicing serving the side of yourself that says I can, like going to the gym every day, right? Like, you know what, my better self is going to appreciate this, let me go serve that. So do you have any kind of habits that you practice daily, like it sucks, but I'm going to practice it, like the I can version of my mind?
Yeah, non-negotiables, right? Non-negotiables would be motivational videos of some sort.
Yeah.
People that I look up to in a certain area for a certain reason. It could be whether it's business, whether it's happiness, spirituality, success, religious success. Listening to them on a daily basis and putting that in my brain, that operating system that you're talking about, you can actually change that through the people that you surround yourself with, the non-negotiables that I'm talking about. The content, and you already know all this, the content that you're watching, the podcast that you're listening to, how often or how not often you're listening to music as you're driving. I mean, there's so much hours and seconds and minutes that we have in our day that some of us, the people that, you know, are the wondering generalities, as Zig Ziglar used to say, they use those moments for other things that don't serve their mission, that won't serve, that's a good way to put it, their future family or their current family, that won't serve that. And so they're putting their time and energy into, you know, or actually, it could be better worded to say you could be putting your time and energy into content, right? That you're making yourself, or the gym, as you're talking about, you know, non-negotiable. So like, I don't like going to the gym to be honest. I mean, as much as I used to, there's some days where I'm excited, but other days, like yesterday, like I was not excited. Like I had a long day, came home from San Antonio, it was 7 o'clock at night, and I decided to go to the gym, not because I wanted to, but because my body told myself, like through just going, you know?
Like the chemical pool of the gym.
And sometimes you like feel bad about yourself for not going or not doing something that you know you're supposed to do. And I try to like ask myself, and tomorrow when I wake up, like, am I going to feel better about myself because I did this, or am I going to feel worse about myself?
Like a piece of crap.
So I try to lean on that.
Dude, that's so good. And it's crazy. Like, let's talk about yesterday. Like the person you are before you go to the gym, you're like, oh my gosh, like the excuse monster's popping up. And then the self-justification. You're like, well, I deserve to skip the gym because, like, you know how your mind just goes? But then when you go to the gym and you crush a workout, like it's such a 180 from the self-defeating thoughts you had before, and then you leave the gym. Like it's almost like the thing that you least desire to do, when you go do it, it's like you become the person you should be. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. How did you discover that? I mean, when did that realization?
So to me, like when I was telling you, it's a true story. I would beat myself up so much in my head about why I'm a piece of crap. Like I would just have all these negative thoughts, and it became so overwhelming. I was like, okay, listen, I can't continue this. I can't sustain beating myself up every day. And I just had this talk. I was like, okay, am I going to continue to do this for the rest of my life and just beat myself up in my head every day? Or am I going to get control of this thing? So then I was like, well, naturally, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I just went on an attack. This sounds super crazy, but I went on an attack of like the little person inside of myself trying to pull myself down. You know what I mean? And the way I visualize it is I strangle that guy. And I'm like, I got control of my mind back. Like I'm in charge. I would like prove to myself that I'm in charge by dropping down and doing like 3 push-ups. You know, like just doing something, it's such a low-hanging fruit that once I do it, I'm like, oh, and it like shifts the momentum. You know, like in a sporting event, like when the quarterback's on fire and then he throws an interception and the defensive team was like, oh my God, we're getting crushed. But then they get the interception and then the momentum shifts. It was like me dropping down and doing 3 little bitty baby push-ups shifts the momentum. Like it's not the thing that wins the game, but it's that moment in time that shifts it.
That momentum shift.
Dude, so I look for those moments in my day. Like, okay, I'm dragging, what's going on? Let me just, you know, that kind of stuff.
And the momentum factor is so huge because
it's everything.
When you start to see results, like don't let off the gas.
Yes.
Right? Like push harder, you know? And if you have a motivation problem, this is what I always say, it's either that you're hanging with the wrong people, you've forgotten your mission, or, you know, you've given up on yourself. And you've got to be that person that like grips, like I said, life and goes after it and stuff. So you have to ask yourself who you're surrounding yourself with. Like who is in your tightest 5 people that you know? Like what are they doing? Like what are their dreams and stuff? And you'll notice, as they always say, it's true that the average of those 5 people is really who not only you turn out to be, but also your current income and stuff. And so,
isn't that crazy?
It is so crazy, and it's true. It's absolutely true. And it's like if I took, you know, one person that's here watching this today, and I threw them in the south side of Chicago or Detroit in a group with there's, gang members, violence, you get embedded into that type of lifestyle just being in that every day versus me throwing you in Beverly Hills, California with several entrepreneurs that want to leave an impact, a legacy, be New York Times bestselling author, have a high net worth, serve people, right? Impact in a positive way and leave like a legacy. How different your life would be, right? If you're hanging out with those type of people and stuff. And so, I mean, for you, Will, if you could give people like action steps, someone that is like just starting out, watching this, they have a dream, maybe they're working a job, they're seeing, a little bit of income, but they want to do something great in their life, like where should they begin?
Dude, that's so good. So on that point, on what Alex was talking about, I agree 100%. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around. I think more now than ever, you are the average of the 5 social media accounts you interact with most.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Dude, because that's like, think about it. You're online, especially in quarantine. He just came out of the cave. We got him. But like, especially when we're at home, we're in our phones more than anything else. Like,
so true.
How many of you want to show your screen time usage? Right? We don't want to show that
especially
stuff.
Over 2020 too.
Especially over 2020. So it's really, what are you doing on your phone most often? Those interactions are going to like impact you more than anything, right? Like, I love the gym fail videos, and like or like my boy Quinn, he's always like catching the guy doing the weird thing at the gym, like, that's not how you use that machine, that stuff. But that's not helping me, that's not serving me. Yeah. And there's like that, I would say that's net neutral, right? But what are you doing that's net positive or net negative, and what's that kind of thing? So that's the first thing I would look at, or who are you interacting with? Like, it's okay to keep up with the Kardashians. That doesn't serve you. That doesn't serve you, right? So it's the same, think about it like this. With money, if you want to get financially free in 10 years or less, it's always about passive cash flow greater than expenses. When you have passive cash flow greater than expenses, you win. So how do you do that? Reverse engineering the problem. You want to what are you doing with your money? Are you spending it on assets, or are you spending it on liabilities? Assets are things that put money in your pocket. Liabilities are things that take money out, right? Cable, Netflix, all that stuff. Assets, rental properties, businesses, franchises, dividend stocks, stuff like that. Same thing with relationships. Same thing with social media accounts. Are you investing your time, which is a currency, in people that are building you up, that are net positive, like positive stuff, which is what we're trying to do on this platform and in this community, is to lift people up. Like, no matter where you're at in your journey, let's gather up and let's go, right? So net positive. But then, are you spending too much time on liabilities, things that are pulling stuff out of you, right? So I would think that's the first action step. I believe that awareness is the first level of change. Where are you at now? Don't beat yourself up. Like, if you're overweight, all good. Let's move on down the road. That's just information. That's data. Let's move on down the road. So the same thing, like, who are you associating with in person and in fake life and in real life, right?
That's huge. You said, say that again. Awareness is the first step of change.
Awareness is the first level of change, yeah.
Is the first level of change. That's so deep. Awareness is the first level of change. So being aware of where you're at in your current circumstances, in all aspects, not just financially, but also
health, wealth, fitness, everything.
And then
relationships.
Taking measure of where you're at, right?
Yep.
And then asking yourself where you want to go in those fields, right?
Yeah. Well, think about it like when you mentor somebody in business. Does it, or in sales, like if they're not hitting their numbers where they are, that's just, to you, is that just an indicator? Is it a judgment of who they are? Can you help them where they're at?
Man, it's multiple things. If I've learned anything in this position, it's that there's 24 salespeople and there's 24 different sales personalities. And what I can tell that person, I can't tell that person. If I tell this person that's super ambitious, maybe he's in his 30s, 40s, and he's young and he wants to be the top of the company, I said, hey man, you might not do it this month. Like, hey, you might not be number one. You're number two right now, but you might not be. That might motivate him, right? Because he's like that and he's that lion type of personality. Right. But then you've got like a different sales personality, like the otter. Like they need, like they constantly need to be motivated. Like I can't tell them that, hey, you might not be number one this year. That'll motivate this guy, but it'll
crush the other guy.
He'll start asking himself, man, is this really for me? And so the way that, like I feed people now and how I approach, speak, talk with them, coach them in their sales calls or after their call and stuff, has to be gauged on their personality. Yeah, it has to be, because like I said, what motivates someone else doesn't motivate everybody. So there's like 5 different sales personalities. I read it in a book. One of them is the golden retriever, right? This is the person that's extremely loyal. They're extremely loyal to the company, very corporate, loves and will stay there for, 20 years if he can. There's the lion that's like me and like you in part. And some of us, we have multiple of these. Right. But we usually have one that's like the dominant one.
Okay.
The otter, which is the one that I was referring to. The other last two, man, help me here.
I don't know. Dude, I'm falling in love with the otter. Like, that's a great, just a little cute little baby otter.
The otter, right?
Like cracking open a clam and just throwing down.
I'll remember the other two later.
The other two don't matter. If you're not those three, get out of here.
But yeah, so that mostly has taught me
I think the point
leadership.
is that you have to understand your craft so well that you can meet the person where they're at and serve them at that level to help them grow up, right? Or raise up.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And it's not necessarily your job for anybody, right, to know how to get there. At some point it will be, but in the beginning when you're just starting, it's not your job to know how to get there, but it's your job to know that you're going to get there. That's the difference. It's your job to know that you're going to get there. All the other stuff will be figured out second. Every person that's left their name in this planet, legacy-wise, that we know by name, from George Washington to Martin Luther King to Tom Brady to any successful business person that we know,
right?
Like, what I love about them is, like, they were so obsessed with their desire, with their goal, with their dream. They were so obsessed, like it's almost as if, like, how could I make a decision that doesn't impact this? Like, that doesn't serve me positively? How, like, it doesn't make sense to them, right? That's how they're ingrained now and stuff. You know, the dream that they have is so important to them because they live in it every day. And so I try to lean on that as much as possible. And then they're fully authentic to who they are to the core. Like, you know, those people, they are who they are to themselves, like, to the center of themselves.
Do you think Tom Brady's faking it, or is he?
He's totally him. No, that's a great point. He's fully himself, and that's why he's who he is, because he's, like, not trying to be someone else. He's trying to be him in the best fashion that he can.
Yeah.
And he walks around with that every day. So it's so motivating.
Dude, okay, so going back, that's so good. Going back to business.
Yes.
Which would you rather have? Would you rather have somebody in business that is very timid and, like, overly scared, overly timid, or would you rather have somebody that's cocky, like overly?
Depends, right? Why am I hiring them? Right? So if 8-figure, 9-figure companies, you need both, I think, right? Because the cocky guy could be good for something. He might not be good for, you know,
customer service.
Right, right. But the otter, right? The otter, cute little otter, he might be good for customer service. You never know. And so I guess it depends on who I'm hiring them.
What the role's for.
What their role is for, right?
That's a great point. That's a good point. Yeah, I just know that I dealt with timidity so long because it was a cause and effect. My thought process was so negative that I became timid. I had this self-doubt. And then I was like, you know what? Well, timidity is going to kill me in business because you can't have a business and not talk to anybody.
Yes.
Like, you're going to go out of business. That's rule number one of going out of business. I read that in bankruptcy book or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the way that I look at business now, and I'm not saying this is the right way, this is just the way that I've kind of seen it from a third-party bird's eye view, and that is, like, let's say in a sales organization or anything that is any business usually has to do in sales, whether it's automated or someone that's on the phone.
Right.
But, like, the salespeople are the trumpets. Like, they're the ones that's in the orchestra, that's in the band, the orchestra, that they're playing the trumpet. Then you have all these different moving pieces and stuff. But then the orchestra guy, can't remember his name, who he is, the conductor. The conductor.
Yes.
Like, that is the business owner, and you have to be, you have the whole organization here in front of you, and you really have to be guiding them down this particular path. And so sometimes you're going to have to lean on other departments more. Sometimes, so it's a beauty. It's art, right? Business is art. Business is art. And then there's the Tony Robbins of the world that aren't that guy, but they're the owners. They're the investors of the orchestra, right?
Yeah.
They have, you know what I mean? So
So
I think that getting to 7 figures, or getting to, we'll start at 6 because a lot of people aren't at 6.
So making $100,000.
Yeah, $100,000 or more. You can't do what you did to get to 5 figures to get to 6. It's got to be through something else. It's got to be through maybe a sales position. It's got to be maybe through your own business and stuff. But you can't go be an employee in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
Right? At a restaurant, etc.
There's a cap to what you can make.
There's a cap, exactly. Now, to get from 6 to 7, that's an entirely different ballgame. Like, you need a team, an individual that's obsessed, and then people around that individual that individual can hire to help get him to 7 figures. So, like, focusing on your strengths and then hiring your weaknesses and the things that you can't be doing. And then 8 figures, you know, that's a whole other level. And it goes higher and higher and higher and stuff. And so I think eventually it comes down to hiring people that are like you and me, obsessed individuals to get to 9 figures, that are obsessed individuals that you can put in power in the position as the CEO of the company. And then that's how you have multiple companies, is through hiring the right CEOs that can do that job for you and stuff. And so that's, like, huge. I think that takes a lot of business maturity to realize that too.
And I think a lot of it is letting go, like, especially from business owners, what I've seen is letting go of the control. A lot of times you see them, I got to control every aspect. Well, okay, you're going to limit yourself.
Yes, that's so true.
You know what I mean? Like, you've seen that over and over and over again.
Yeah, the Superman syndrome.
Superman syndrome. Tell me about otter, golden retriever, and Superman syndrome.
Superman, man.
What is that?
Superman syndrome. It's like where you're trying to be the every part of your business. You're trying to be the salesperson, the marketer, the Facebook ad guy, the video editor. You're trying to be every part. You're trying to be the whole band, right? You're trying to be the whole organization in one position.
Wow.
And that can only get you so far, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like if somebody can do something 80% as good as you, delegate it. Like video editing, for example. Like we ourselves.
Yep.
As good as we might see a project, we're better spent hiring video editors to be able to bring the same thing with Facebook ad people. I mean, there's people out there that are 19-year-old phenoms that like are obsessed with Facebook ads, but yet we want to go buy our course ourselves to go try to learn it, right? When we could be focusing on our strengths, whatever it is, whether it's being in front of a camera, whether for you it's building funnels, whether for you it's speaking, whether for you it's just being presence and being, having that strong presence in a situation and stuff.
Right.
But like I said, hiring your weaknesses, and if somebody can do something 80% as good as you, delegating that work. And it comes down to the $1 billion time management, like there's high level activity, there's mid-level, low level video editing, low level, like anything from like checking emails and stuff like that, to mid-level being sales, like sales calls, that's still mid-level. Right. And then high level is book writing, right? Legacy focused, things that are going to pay you in 5 years. Yeah. Making content for YouTube, making content for anything that comes with being in front of the camera to run on ads. And so, where is your time spent every day? Is it on high level, mid level, and low level? And for everybody, it's different, right? That's watching this. Not everybody is, at 8 figures.
Depending where they're at in their journey.
Depending on where they're at for their journey, you still have a high level, mid level, and low level. And whatever that is for you, you know what that is watching this. You know that when you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, that's low level. You know that when you're feeling productive, you're doing mid to high. So where's your time spent every day? You have 24 hours. Where is it spent every day? Is it high? Is it mid? Is it low?
See, and I think, and if we've got any questions, we can get to some now. But really, one of the things that's really what I would do, an action step for this, is I would set a little bit of a stretch goal for you on what you want to make per hour, and then whatever that number is. If you're at $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour, it doesn't matter. Set that number. Anything that you can hire below that number, you should not be doing. Yeah. That's a really good indicator, dollar amount. And then you realize what you're losing. Like if I can hire somebody to mow my grass for $200, it doesn't make sense for me to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the thought process to do that. If I can go out there and generate, $10,000 an hour, why am I going to focus on doing a $200 an hour job? Yeah. That's kind of the thought process that I was talking about, which is beautiful. It's brilliant.
Yeah, especially when you're getting higher level and stuff, you're trying to achieve great stuff. And so now it's for me, I'm seeing this for you too, and I feel like you've had this for a lot longer than I have, which is like legacy focused, like impact over income in a sense, like legacy over currency kind of thing. Yeah. And so that's huge. In the beginning, especially for myself, as I was first getting started out, my first 2 years, like I was so money hungry. I thought that money was the solution to all of my problems. And when you start to make a little bit of money and you start to realize that there's levels to this stuff, and every time you have yourself a financial goal and you get there, you're going to just raise the bar. And then you'll get there and then you'll raise the bar. And there's no happiness that comes with that, right? At all and stuff. And so I think that taking a step back for me now, more than anything, what's most important for me now is happiness. What's most important for me now is legacy, is impact, because there's no greater feeling that we have than being able to serve someone else, right? Yes. And have them walk away from a conversation and say that life that was a life-changing alteration for you. And so that for me is like huge, legacy focus now. It's like impacting like my tomorrow, like
absolutely
all that stuff.
One of the big things that I learned is that I think people misuse money, but you can buy happiness. And there's a study done by, it was like in the 1940s at the University of Michigan, and because it was the 1940s, the guy's name was Agnes. So like Professor Agnes or something, right? From the University of Michigan. And he figured out that you can buy happiness, but it's how you use your money. Oh. And it's by controlling your time. If you can control your time, you're happy if you're doing what you want to do. And so a big focus of mine, I don't remember when I figured that out, but a big focus of mine was, if I can control my time, I'm going to be happy. Like if I'm doing what I want to do when I want to do it, dude, I mean, how are you unhappy? Yeah. It's a lot of times when we're forced into situations of not being able to control our time, or somebody else is dictating to us what we must do, that we're unhappy. Yes. And like I think everybody can kind of trace back to those moments where like, well, yeah, I've been unhappy ever since I got this job, that kind of stuff. So that's always been a big focus of mine. And then it's the same thing. Like when I see a light bulb go off in somebody's mind of like, somehow I said something that clicked for them, and they go, "Oh my gosh, thank you." Yeah. Dude, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Like, and then you can do that through like evergreen stuff, like YouTube videos, books, stuff like that, where you can impact a life, and then that life can impact another life. Like, hey, you need to read this book.
Yeah.
Share this YouTube clip. Like the point of virality, of things going viral, is so you can serve and impact other people.
Yes.
Whether it's through, like the media that we do is like coaching and helping people and serving them at a high level. Other people do it through comedy and fun stuff, but it's the same thing. Right?
Totally agree. Yeah,
Dude,
totally agree.
Huge stuff, man.
And I love world-class success, not just income, right? But like you were talking about earlier, like world-class success to me is like being successful in all of the aspects that you want to be successful in. Because whoever's watching this has their own dreams, but you still have more than one thing that you probably want to be good at. One of them is probably health and body. Another one might be income. Another one might be relationships. Another one might be for you education and stuff. And so I think that world-class success is being successful in a lot of areas that you personally want to be successful in. And success is all relative and stuff. So whatever, you could change success to happiness. Whatever makes you happy in all 5 areas, there's a point of where that might be for you. And it might not be being extremely overweight and diabetic, but it might be getting to a point where you're not diabetic, where you're healthy, where you can enjoy time with kids and family. You can run around with them and stuff. And so, you know, the people that I try to follow now are people that have achieved world-class success. They might be, you know, net worth of a billion or $100 million and stuff, but if they don't have relationships with their kids, if they don't have relationships with their God, right, then it's tough for me to listen to that part of their life. It's just, you know, I'm only listening to that one avenue, and then as soon as I get what I can, you know, health-wise or whatever it is.
Do you think you haven't always been that way, and like you've, for lack of a better term, matured into that?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. You know, in the beginning, there were people, I would follow anyone that was there, like anyone.
Yeah.
Now I really like watch, like if I find someone and they say something good, I might spend an hour or 2 hours like digging through their stuff. And if there's things that I don't like or do like, you know, that'll tell me, you know, how much further I'm willing to go into their stuff.
Gotcha. Because you're really building a relationship with them. Like,
totally.
Am I going to listen to you and allow you to influence me?
Yeah, and it goes back to the 5 people that you watch on social media. That's so true. 5 people, I love that. Especially YouTube. I mean, YouTube is like, I don't know how many hours we watch on YouTube.
That's your thing, right? YouTube?
2020. For me, it is, yeah, because you can get a 4-year education in
60 minutes sometimes. Yes, dude. Like, I listened to a talk from a dude. I don't even remember the guy's name. It wasn't a TED talk, but it was like he was just speaking from the heart about like business and where he sees it in the world. And I was like, dude, why is this guy not in like a professor in school? And of course, he ended up being a professor at Oxford or something.
Oh wow!
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's on YouTube for free.
Yes.
Like, we live in some of the best times, and I think a lot of times all the excuses are gone now. Whatever it is that you desire, you can go out and do. You can do it on some kind of scale, but most of the time it's something internal inside of us, some garbage and baggage that we have from our past, or something that we've kind of created in ourselves, or a lot of times we've all been victimized in our life, but it's okay to be a victim, but it's not okay to play the victim. But we're still playing back that victim mentality, the victim thing that we went through over and over and over again, where that's not going to serve you.
Yeah. And you're right, man. It's comforting for me to know that there's people that have been in worse shoes than I have.
Amen.
Right? And still achieve greatness. There's people that have been in worse shoes than you have and still achieve greatness. Like starting from, and you've heard the stories, like being homeless, like, you know, not having parents growing up. Like, you know, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a middle-class family, but also that side doesn't get taught financial freedom. You know, that side gets taught just above. You know, I wasn't taught, you know, how to become a millionaire.
Yes.
None of us really were. But I think that, you know, if you start off that homeless sort of factor, you know what you don't want, right? You know what you don't want. And sometimes, you know, when you start in the middle, sometimes it could be the harder part, just because you have everything. Like, not everything you want, but everything that you need, like food, shelter, home, water, all that kind of stuff. And so to get out of that complacency, like it really takes you going inside of yourself and asking yourself, like, what is it truly that I want to become? And am I following my dream, or am I following the dream of my parents? Am I following the dream of society? Am I following the dream that's been given to me and laid out for me because I've been told since birth that I'm supposed to follow this path? But really, the path and the life that you want to see is like just on the other side of that. It's like you said, the awareness, man. That's huge. It's awareness, dude. That's so big.
Dude, awareness has woken me up from so many slumbers.
Slumbers.
You know, you just get stuck in a rut, man. In the cave, man. We got a question?
We got a couple specific. Is affiliated marketing worth it?
Ooh, affiliate marketing. So I'll let you kind of take this.
Well, I mean, I don't know nothing about it, but I'd say yes. I'd say absolutely. I'd say absolutely. Why is that? Because there's people that are making, let's be honest, millions of dollars doing it, and there's a formula for it. I don't know that formula, but I do know that there's content on YouTube, people that you can follow that will teach you how to do it. So anything, that goes with anything, whether it's affiliate marketing or any other game, right? It's all a game. if you can get obsessed with it and pour your life into it and make sure that you're gonna see it to the end, then I think it's a great thing. But if you just kind of like you're dancing around, you're doing a quick, get rich, whatever, right? Yeah. Get rich quick kind of scheme, and you're floating around. Is it affiliate marketing? Is it multi-level marketing? Is it this? What is it gonna? And you're just kind of putting a little bit of energy into all of them, then you're not going to really see results. Absolutely. But if you go all into that one thing, that could be affiliate marketing for you. So that's my take on it.
Dude, and I would say, absolutely, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Affiliate marketing can be a really great thing. The brilliance of affiliate marketing is that it's a very low cost of entry. It probably doesn't cost you anything to get in. I think you need an internet connection, maybe a website, right? You can do a lot of stuff. So it's a very low barrier of entry. Understanding that, keep it low. Like, I don't think you need to buy a bunch of courses from people to learn that stuff. The people that are selling the courses are going to disagree with me. I get it. Yeah. But you can go onto YouTube and learn. Like, Peng Joon is one of the top affiliate marketers in the world on many different products. He's got like hours and hours of content for free. Here's my thing on affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, use it as a vehicle to grow your skill set. Once you have a skill set, you never have to worry about money again. Use affiliate marketing as the low income barrier. Like, you don't have to have money to get in the game. Get in the game for free, grow your skill set, seek mastery in the skills. Once you have mastery of the skill set, you can do anything in life. Then you can take that and go to another industry, to another business model, anything like that, and you'll be fine.
Dude, mic drop, that's awesome. Did you just like,
is that good?
That's great stuff.
That's my official philosophy on it. So.
Yeah, I love that. What you can learn from it. It's not going to be the thing it might not be the thing to get you to the thing, but, right? You follow me? But I mean, like, it can be the thing to help you get to the thing.
Exactly, absolutely.
And who you can become through that, is totally true.
Use it as a vessel, man. Absolutely.
A vessel, yeah, totally agree.
Dude, you crush it too. Double mic drop. Next question.
So we're on the same thing, same person. So this is sort of just answer this, but what is a good side hustle for a stay-at-home mom? Is an eBay store a good starter business? This is all three from the same person.
Ooh, so good. So I'll start us off and then let you take on. Yeah. Number one, I would start a business. Like, the tax savings alone that you get from a business, whether it's an eBay store, whatever, like, under whatever business model you're going to get into. If you're going to do an eBay store, we're going to do some resale, like you go garage sale on the weekend and you throw it up on eBay and try to mark it up by 50% or whatever the thing is, whatever it is, do it. Like, go in for the tax purposes, the tax deduction. All you need to do is file a Schedule C with your tax filing, and you can deduct all of your business activity, like your car mileage, the expenses that you have with your business, your home office deduction. Like, there's so many things. So from that side, a mathematical perspective, do it. eBay store, I mean, it depends. Like, if you're in a marketplace that you can buy stuff low and sell high, do it. Like, why not? I mean, all businesses, no matter what business we're talking about, is margin. Like, it's arbitrage, the difference between what you buy it for and what you sell it for. Affiliate marketing is a good question because you don't have to buy it for anything. Like, there's no upfront cost. So there's some really good stuff that you can do. eBay store is a great one. Whatever you do, just go all in. Like what Alex is talking about, get obsessed about it. Go onto YouTube, find somebody that you can trust and learn from as cheaply as you can to just kind of like get your barometer, to get your skill set. Like, okay, let me just figure out the lay of the land before I go all in, and then find somebody that you can follow and mirror and model their behavior. Then you can duplicate their success on some kind of level.
Yeah. My advice would be to follow someone in your shoes. Single moms out there, there's a lot of them that have achieved greatness, and so going onto YouTube and finding those 3 to 5 women on who they are and building the skill set that he was referring to earlier through watching their stuff. Through watching someone do something or talk about what they're passionate about, you can pick up certain habits, skill sets, and non-negotiables that you will have. So I think that finding those 3 to 5 people and building that skill set along the way as you're pursuing affiliate marketing, as you're pursuing eBay and stuff, and realizing that the same thing that we just said about the affiliate marketing is the same thing that I'll say about the eBay stuff. Like, you really have to go all in. Like, you can't dance around it. If it's a decision that you make, then make that decision. I think that commitment is staying true to what you set out to do long after the mood that you set out to it in has gone away. And that's so deep. So commitment is what you're going to stay true to long after the mood that you set that commitment to in. Right, and because as soon as you say that you want to be a certain, weight or lose this or gain that or have this income, then you get hit in the face, you know what I mean? You're out of that comfort of your own home by the fireplace, thinking tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym and stuff. As soon as you're outside of that comfort zone, like I said, you've got to stay commitment long past obstacles,
Dude, that's so good. This morning I dealt with that. Quinn and I have been going to the gym every day, and the lactic acid built up last night, and I was laying in my bed. It was like 5 a.m. My alarm went off. And eBay store, whatever your username is, I got something for you right now in just a minute. And I was laying in my bed, my alarm went off, and I was like, I felt like a rock. Yeah. I was like, I don't even want to get out of this bed. And I was like, but then I'm like, dude, are you really? You're gonna do 4 days and then quit at 5? Like, like, so then the internal mechanism kicked in, and I was like, let me just get out of bed. And then once you're up, you're like in the game. Like, all right, whatever.
So true.
So eBay store. Here's what I would do. Whether you want to do affiliate marketing or eBay store, whatever it is, go find the top 10 eBay store people. Go find the top 10 affiliate marketers. Like, do your research. Go find them and start seeing. Like, try to look at it like a game plan. Like Tom Brady trying to dissect the opponent's defense. What are they doing? How are they attracting customers? Like, go figure out what they're doing. The top 10 on each side. That's a ton of market research that'll give you a massive education right there.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Same person, what's the best way to find a mentor?
Ooh, you need to hit up Alex Tullos. His username is. Are you on TikTok?
No, I mean, it's not worth seeing. I have a TikTok, but
it's not worth seeing. It's just
it'll
him.
Be there. It'll be there.
It's him dancing in front of the mirror. It's just, a little awkward, a little weird. No, I'm just kidding. So the best way to find a mentor is just kind of what I just told you. Like whatever category you're going to go into, go find the top 10 people. Go find them, and you're going to learn about personalities. You're going to learn about their backstory, about what they're about, and just kind of the people that stand out to you that you're naturally attracted to. Go deep on them. Like Alex, you heard what Alex said. He hopped on YouTube. He heard a guy. He had a really good thing he said. And you're like, wow, that's awesome. Let me go to his homepage. Let me listen to all of his other content. And then you're going to get through some stuff, and he's like, yeah, and I also like to do this. I don't know. I hate my life. He's like, well, I'm out. I don't like you anymore, right? You want to find those things out. That's a really good way. But here's my advice: never take advice from somebody more messed up than you, and only take advice from people you would want to trade places in. I think that it is difficult sometimes to find people that are financially successful, but then they've also have a good marriage. Like you can find somebody that's financially successful, but they've been married and divorced 15 times. Probably not a person I want to listen to. Like there's probably something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of seek those things out too. When you're
and
looking.
what he said about TikTok about me is absolutely true.
All right, we got Northwest Lion.
Northwest Lion.
With a question for Alex. What up, man? What is the biggest lesson you learned about yourself in your journey?
I think being in darkness, like when you're set out to achieve the impossible. So when I started in my sales organization back in 2016, I came into that job as the youngest person in the company, and everybody told me that I needed a plan B. Everybody told me I wasn't going to make it. Everybody shamed me. Everybody said, you're too young, you can't do this. Why? Because everybody was in their mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s even. And they had kids that were my age and stuff. So the darkness that I had gone into through wanting to achieve that so bad and not seeing results shaped me. The calluses that we build in the gym is what I built in my mind through that discomfort, through that depression. It was the darkest time of my life because I knew that if I could just figure this particular moment out of my life, and this goes for you too, if you can just figure out what it is that you're in right now and what you're trying to achieve and what you're going through right now, even if it's gonna make you depressed for a moment, because just past that is everything that you've wanted in your life, the dream, the goals, the aspirations and stuff. So I think that for me, pulling from all of the pain, discomfort, family dysfunction, problems that I've been in, and using that as that is the reason I'm doing this for. Like that's my why. That's my dad. I need to retire my father, and I'm operating every day, which is for you, to as if I'm behind in life. Like I work, operate, think, and act as if I'm behind, because anytime that you're behind in something and you really feel like you're behind, you start like figuring stuff out, right?
Yeah. Backs against the wall.
Yeah, backs against the wall. So I strive to live my life as if I'm doing that. And I'm because then I start to work, act, think, and do things different when I'm working like I'm behind and stuff. And so putting yourself, I think, also in a place where you might not be the most successful. I think sometimes it's tough for the ego part of yourself. Yep. But it's so helpful for the growth part of yourself. Being surrounded by people that are already millionaires that are around your age or maybe a couple of years older than you.
Yes.
And then leaning on YouTube as your mentors. That nice lady that asked about how do you find mentors? I think that mentors are in books, mentors are on YouTube. Yep. Like you don't conferences too. After COVID that are going to eventually come back are great to go to. Virtual events. Yep. And then just like striking conversations about business success and things that you're passionate about or want to achieve with your friends, and then figure out like where your friends at with it, and then finding new friends through, I don't know, online platforms, or just going down to the coffee shop. There's usually people that are on their laptop that are probably like you if you want to achieve something great. So that's what I would do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, another quick one, potentially. What books do you guys recommend for a 22-year-old that is Evan MT?
What's up, Evan MT? So books, I usually like to ask the question, what are you struggling with? Because that gives me direction on where to help you out. Because, I mean, I could say anything. I could say the Bible. You're like, well, dude, I'm Muslim. I'm like, oh, okay, right? So the first question I would ask you, if you're willing to answer this question, what are you struggling with? Like, what's the thing that's been holding you back? If we're honest with ourselves, there's something always in the back of our mind that we're trying to kind of run from. Like, dude, I did something the other day, and I kept putting it. It was like something I had to do around the house, and I kept putting it off, and then actually finally did it, and it took like 3 minutes. I was like, man, why did I let this thing beat me up for all this time in the back of my head? So it depends where you're at. If you've got a dream and you're having a hard time getting started on the dream, I would recommend Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art. Like, not The Art of War by Sun Tzu, different book. The War of Art, like The War on Creativity by Stephen Pressfield. If you've got some dreams and stuff inside of you that you've been procrastinating, that you're struggling kind of overcoming, that book will light your butt on fire. There's so many different directions I could go on books. Like Operating System, I think Marcus Aurelius, his book, The Meditations, is one of the best books of all time. It's one of my favorite books of all time because Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, the last great Roman emperor. Do you remember the Gladiator movie with Russell Crowe and the old guy's dying in the tent, and then, what's his name? What's the Joker? The most recent Joker that was really good, the actor? Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix was the bad guy in The Gladiator. That was Marcus Aurelius' son. That's the true story, a little bit of Hollywoodism, but the true story of Marcus Aurelius. He was the last great Roman emperor. What was amazing about that is Marcus Aurelius in battle. Like, think about this. Could you picture like President Trump or President Joe Biden riding into battle like on a horse, like throwing a spear? No way, right? But Marcus Aurelius was that dude, like slinging rocks and arrows or whatever they did back then. I don't know how they fought. But he would, like, at the end of battle, leading the army into battle, he would write down his thoughts. That is the book, The Meditations. Somebody found Marcus Aurelius's like war handbook and put it into like publication. So I would recommend that for like an operating system. He says stuff like, enough talk about what a good man should be, just be one. Like, dude, come on now. So, but anyway, those are the books I would recommend.
I like the idea of what Will said, to go to YouTube and find people podcasts, like top business, whatever you want to do, business podcasts, success, income, finance, whatever it is. Yeah. And look at the top podcasts for those, and usually those people that have the millions of views, right, have a book, like Ed Milet's, the Tony Robbins, like there's books that you can go. So I think that leaning and asking yourself who you like who do you actually like to like listen to? Like there's people on YouTube that are not in business that we like to follow because like we just like them. Yep. So in business and in success, like you're gonna find those people as well. The personality, they're funny, the way they engage with you, like you'll like that. And typically they have a book. So for me, it was always Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. That was one of my favorite books when I first started out because that book spoke to me because it helps you listen to that inner voice that tells you that you can versus that other voice that comes from the outside that tells you that you can't. So yeah, I would do that. I would go to YouTube and I would look up like, people that you want to be like, and usually they have books, people that you gravitate with, and then you'll want to read their books. David Goggins is a great book, Can't Hurt Me.
Savage.
Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How to Win Friends and Influence People, The School of Greatness, Lewis Howes, Jocko Willink, if you want to look into Jocko, he's got a podcast on leadership and just how you use the military and special forces and Navy SEALs to go.
Dude, you just made me totally remember that I'm a piece of crap.
Why?
With Jocko. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But like that dude is on another level of this. Him and Goggins. Totally different levels. I mean that as a joke.
Yeah.
But we'll probably go like 5 more minutes, guys. So if you've got any final questions for Alex, we got him here. He's hard to get a hold of. I've been chasing him down for a year. I know. I think actually he's been chasing me down. We've been playing phone tag and stuff. But if you got any final questions, we got like 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. And as we do that, are there any other like closing thoughts or anything that you want to leave for these people and help them out? Or
yeah, what I said earlier about 6 figures, 7 figures and stuff, it's all relative. I think that being specific about your goals as opposed to being relative about them, a goal of yours watching this is to become successful. What does success mean? Like what for you, right? Like, for me, it means different than for what it means to you. It means different for everyone, right? So like, I think that just as opposed to just saying that you want to be wealthy or rich or whatever, have a specific goal with a specific date and have it measured out. I said this on a previous podcast that we did, and you'll laugh when I say it, but the Picasso painting analogy, right?
Yeah.
The Picasso painting analogy, and Picasso, as well as many other of the famous artists that I don't know by name, but that some of you guys might, you'll notice that their paintings, they're so detailed, they're so specific, the way that they do things in certain ways with their paintings is so vividly beautiful in the way that they paint it. And so you need to have a Picasso painting for what you want your life to look like in 10 years or 20 years or by a certain age.
Yeah.
With every specificity, with every goal, with every dream, both financially, relationally, educationally, spiritually, happiness-wise, like travel-wise, lifestyle-wise, autonomy. So that's what I'm about now, is like lifestyle, right?
Yep.
First, right?
Yep.
Lifestyle, happiness, of course, impact, legacy, and autonomy. Like, how can I automate this stuff so that I can literally go travel and be with my family, impact from any city, any country, right? When COVID's over, do things from stage, write books, and autonomy, like where it's automated and stuff, where I can now have a sales team that's selling our products and services, right?
Yep.
Where we have advertisements that are running while we're asleep and putting people into funnels and marketing campaigns and drip campaigns and stuff. And so, you know, like your dreams are possible. That's what I would say. Absolutely are possible. I think that if you think that anything otherwise, then you'll fall into that complacency, and whatever you believe or think you can or can't do, like you can, right?
Yep.
It's so true. Everything that we've been taught is so true. So
It's wild. That's good stuff. Any final questions?
One more is from the same eBay store affiliate marketing person. She asked,
Dude, this is awesome, dude. Don't you love Alex's house? Beautiful.
it's incredible. We're gonna play pool later. As a W-2 in limited time, best way to start a business. But I think y'all already answered that.
Okay, so let me give you this. Limited time. Your life is going to be limited time. Like, you're living on limited time. I believe, so I told, this is so funny because I told this story on the podcast. One of the things that you've got to understand, W-2, you're trying to go for this dream. Every phase of your life, every stage of your life, you're going to feel this squeeze. Like, how do I get to the next level, right? The dilemma, the circumstance that you're in right now is that you've got a W-2 and you're trying to do this other thing. You're like, man, I've got limited time. So the justification is, well, I don't have time to do it, which is totally makes sense. But the story that I tell is there's this jogger, he's running down this trail, and he sees this little cocoon, and he sees this butterfly starting to pop out of the cocoon. And he's like, well, let me just help this guy out. I've got a pocket knife on me. Who jogs with a pocket knife? I don't know. But he pulls out a pocket knife, and he cuts open the cocoon so the butterfly can come out easier. The problem with that is that biologically, when the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, the squeeze of the butterfly trying to get out of the cocoon pushes blood from the body to the wings. If the blood doesn't get to the wings, the butterfly can't fly. So what the jogger didn't know that he did is when he cut it open, he just killed the butterfly. Because now the butterfly can't fly and it's going to fall on the ground and die. The squeeze is the most valuable part of every step to the next level in your life. So if you're like, I'm stuck in this W-2 job, I want to break free, but I have a limited time, that's exactly the blessing that you need in your life. So thank God that you've got the squeeze. Because if you didn't have it, you would die and stay at the W-2. Make sense?
And the squeeze is the struggle. The squeeze is the negative.
All of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're saying, and I love that, you need to go through that squeeze to become who you are, right?
Absolutely. And shift your mind. Welcome the squeeze. Welcome the, I've got limited time. Well, now learn how to get efficient, right? Like, okay, I've only got 1 hour between, I put my kid to bed, I've got 1 hour, like I did my W-2 job, I put the kid to bed, oh my gosh, I've only got 1 hour, then I need to get to bed so I can at least get 6 hours of sleep or something crazy, right? That whole phase of your life is the squeeze. Within that phase of life, that's that 1 hour that you got to crank out some work, right? Or be productive. That's all a blessing. So now shift your mindset to look forward to the squeeze. Like, oh, that's my moment. Like, I can't wait to write the book on how I got out of this and inspire other women or whatever, whatever your thing is, right? Like, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, I would say as well to piggyback off of that. It's not. I wish there was one thing that I could say to you. To say, hey, this is, if you just do this, hey man, you'll become a millionaire. But it's unfortunate, it's not. It's a multitude of a lot of small things that you'll have to do to become great. So it's not just one thing, but it's a multitude of a whole bunch of little things that you need to start doing to get you to that best side hustle that you're talking about and stuff. And so a part of it is building the skill set. And so it's a long-term play. I think people overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in 5 years or 10 years. And so understand that it's a marathon, and throughout that marathon, you need to be watching content, YouTube, success stories, people that you want to be like, books, surrounding yourself with successful people, watching events, right? And then during that time, as you build this skill set, what I would also be doing, depending on where your income is, if it's 5 figures or if it's 6, I don't know. But if you're at 5, then I would be going up to 25 different people that get out of cars that you want to drive in your area, whether it's a nice car or the car that you want, or someone that you think is successful, and go ask them your name, value, or go tell them your name, values, characteristics, and how they became successful. And you'll probably meet someone that's either going to give you another job that's going to pay you more money, one, or an opportunity that can help you start that side income, side business. Or once you've done that, and it's like that concept of staying ready. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and to not be prepared for it.
Yes.
So if I could go back to my W-2 self, right, and how can I skip 6 to go to 7? I think first is having the skill set, and then being able to have the awareness of other people and see, like, if you meet some person that's around your age, plus minus 10 years, and you think that they've got potential, don't be afraid to swipe your card on the business idea that they have, because they might have a great business, a great product, and a great service that not only impacts themselves, the consumer, but it also impacts the world.
Yeah.
And if you find those 3 things, I personally think, in a business, and it can be advertised well, then you could leverage and piggyback off his potential success, and that could be your side hustle.
Yeah.
Finding an Alex Tullos, finding a Will Myers that is out there that maybe hasn't become Will Myers yet because they just haven't gone through the trenches and had as much time as Will has, but you know that have as much potential as he has, and then swipe your credit card for $3,000 a month on ad spend, and making sure that you've got the right team of individuals around you, the ad people, the marketing people, the video editing people, the people that you'll need on sales, to go build that 7 and 8 figures, because I'd rather have 25% of 8 figures than I would 100% of a W-2, because that's $2.5 million. I'd rather have 25% of it and then have 100% of W-2. So it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but at some point you've got to jump. You've got to jump, you've got to open up and understand that your back is going to get scratched up. You're going to hit the rock as you're coming down from the parachute. You're going to get beaten up. But just past that is when you're going to soar at some point. And all dirt is just fertilizer. Dirt isn't just dirt, dude.
Yes.
Dirt is fertilizer. Dirt is, there's nothing that's beautiful that didn't have dirt on it, right? There's no beautiful plant tree that didn't have a little bit of dirt on it to make it, turn into what it is.
So good. Try to land in some organic dirt, though.
So yeah,
you don't want that bad stuff.
Preferably not manure. Anyways, that's it, man.
Dude, was this awesome or what? This is always good, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys on TikTok. Y'all have a good one. Go follow him. Go see what he's doing on his dancing videos. All that good stuff.
Peace, guys.
You gotta take care.